Hello everyone, I'm here once again to deliver to you the topic about the sacrament of matrimony or marriage. And in this video, ipapakita ko po sa inyo ang kalagahan ng sakramento ng kasal sa mata ng Diyos at sa mata ng tao. At dito po natin makikita na hindi pala natin dapat isawalang bahala ang sakramento ng kasal na atin pong pinanunumpaan sa harap ng Diyos. Ayan po. Kaya, at ang makikita ninyo dito sa loob ng video kong isi-share sa inyo ay, first is what is Sacrament of Marriage? Second is who instituted marriage? Third, why is marriage a sacrament? Then the minister of the Sacrament of Marriage, who may receive the Sacrament of Matrimony or Marriage, what are the two purposes of marriage, the matter of marriage, the term marriage vow, form of matrimony or marriage, what is impediment, the effects of matrimony or marriage, two pillars of marriage, the essential properties of marriage, and the scriptures in the letter of St. Paul to the Ephesians chapter 5 verses 22 to 23. Kaya tunghayan niyo po guys. And this is it guys, the sacrament of matrimony or marriage. In here, we can find matutunghayan po natin kung ano nga po ba ang importansya ng Sacrament of Matrimony or Marriage at ano nga po ba ang dapat nating pangangalagaan. Paano nga po ba natin dapat ito pangangalagaan at bakit nga po ba natin ito pangangalagaan. Ayan po, kung ano nga po ba ang kahalagahan nito sa mata ng Diyos. At yan po, brothers and sisters, once again, the sacrament of matrimony or marriage. Yan po, guys. The sacrament of matrimony or marriage. Yan. So, we can read here first is what is marriage. Marriage is a covenant of love, a vocation, and a lifetime commitment. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one. And the two shall become one flesh. So they no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, no human being must separate. We can read this in the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 19, verses 5 to 6. Yan po, brothers and sisters. Once again, marriage is a covenant of love, a vocation, and a lifetime commitment. Malinaw po dito guys, lifetime commitment. And no human being must separate. And for the reference, Matthew. Yan po guys. Next is who instituted marriage? God instituted marriage by creating a human beings, both male and female, in His own image, which is love. Mutual love and procreation are essential aspects of nature of man and woman. We can read this in the Catechism of the Catholic Church number 1602 to 1605. Yan po. So once again, God instituted marriage by creating a human beings, both male and female. The next is why is marriage a sacrament? It is a sacrament because the covenant between the spouses signifies the union of Christ and the Church. Ayan po. Ayan pa ang dahilan kung bakit tinatawag po na sakramento ang marriage. Because it signifies the union of Christ and the Church. Next is the minister of the Sacrament of Matrimony. The man and the woman who are receiving the Sacrament of Matrimony are the minister of the sacrament of matrimony or marriage. The priest witnesses the sacrament and gives the couples God's blessing. We can read this in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, Numbers 1623, 1626, and 1630. Ayan po, brothers and sisters. Once again, the minister of the sacrament of matrimony are the man and the woman who are receiving the sacrament of marriage or matrimony. And the priest witnesses the sacrament and gives the couples God's blessings. Ayan po, brothers and sisters. So, you can read once again. And next is, who may receive the sacrament of matrimony? Both man and woman must be baptized and confirmed in the Catholic Church, freely consent, and not already married. The person concerned must follow marriage laws of the Church. We can read this in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, number 1625. Yeah, again, once again, both man and woman must be baptized and confirmed in the Catholic Church. Ayan. And then, what are the two purposes of marriage? First is the mutual love and the communion of husband and wife. Second, proper upbringing of children. We can read this in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, Numbers 1601 to 1660. Ayan po. So, next is the matter of marriage. The matter of marriage is the exchange of consent. The man and woman give and accept each other for the purpose of establishing a marriage. I take you as my wife. I take you as my husband in the side of the wife. And I take you as my wife in the side of the husband. Ayan po. Their consent, the exchange of consent are the matter of marriage. Ayan po. So once again, the matter of marriage are the exchange of consent of both husband and wife. Yan po, brothers and sisters. You can read once again. Next is the term marriage vows. The term marriage vows is popularly used to emphasize the solemnity of the covenant. The exchange of vows is sealed by the Holy Spirit's blessings. We can read this in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, Numbers 1623 to 1627. Once again, the term marriage vows is popularly used to emphasize the solemnity of the covenant. Ayan po, brothers and sisters. And we can read this in the Catechism of the Catholic Church for reference. Number 1623 to 1627. Ayan po, you can read once again, brothers and sisters. Next is the form of matrimony. The form of matrimony is the exchange of vows to love and to be loyal to one another for a lifetime. Ayan po, lifetime po, brothers and sisters. The consent is exchanged when the spouses profess it to each other, I take you as my wife, or I take you as my husband. We can read this in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, Numbers 1623 to 1662. Yan po. Once again, the form of matrimony of marriage are the exchange of vows. Yan po yung I take you as my wife or I take you as my husband. Yun po yung the form of matrimony. And the reference is Catechism of the Catholic Church, number 1623 to 1662. Ayan po. Once again, the form of matrimony. Okay, next is what is impediment. Impediment is an obstacle that render a person incapable of contracting a valid marriage. Ito yung mga hindrances, kakulian, obstacle, upang makakuha po yung isang tao ng valid marriage. For example, abduction or kidnap. Yan, you cannot contract a valid marriage. Second is underage or bloodline relatives, and killing or a crime, kill the husband, her husband, or his or killing his spouse to contract another marriage. That is invalid. You cannot contract a valid marriage if like that. That is what we call an impediment. What is impediment? Obstacle is impediment. Okay, so let's read once again. Okay, next is the effects of matrimony. So, first effect of matrimony is the perpetual and exclusive bond. Husband and wife are united forever, and marriage ends only with the death of one of the spouses. Ayan, very clear, guys. Second is the sacramental grace. Strengthens the human love between husband and wife and help them to endure any difficulties of married life. Ayan po, brothers and sisters. Once again, the perpetual and exclusive bond and the sacramental grace are the effects of matrimony. Ayan po. So, tatandaan po natin, once we are already husband and wife, we are united forever. Yan. And our marriage will end only with the death of one of the spouses. Ayan po, brothers and sisters. Kindly read once again. Okay, next is two pillars of marriage. The two pillars of marriage are, first is the human love between spouses. Second, the grace of God. Ayan po yung two pillars of marriage. Atin pong tatandaan, two pillars of marriage, human love between spouses, and the grace of God. Next is the two essential ends of marriage. First, for the good of spouses. God said in the book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 18, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a suitable partner for him." Second, the procreation and education of children. Be fertile and multiply. Be fertile and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. We can read this in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. Once again, the two essential ends of marriage are for the good of spouses. Okay, next is what are the essential properties of marriage? First is the unity. Unity of or monogamy means the spouses cannot marry more than one person at the same time. Second is indissolubility. Indissolubility, meaning that a valid consummated marriage cannot be dissolved by any human authority but by death. As Jesus said in Matthew chapter 19, verse 16, what God has joined together, no human beings must separate. Ayan, malinaw po yan, guys. The two essential properties of marriage are unity and indissolubility. Ayan po, unity and indissolubility. So, yan po, guys. Next is, number 3 is the openness to life. Means that the spouses should procreate and educate children according to the will of God. As it is written in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, "Be fertile and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it." Yan po, guys. Okay, guys. Once again, you can read it, guys. You can read it so that you can understand more. So, Yan po ang the essential properties of marriage. So, next is in the letter of St. Paul to the Ephesians chapter 5 verses 22 to 23. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands, as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now as the church submit to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church, and give himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church without stain or wrinkle or any other. Okay. And in the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body, just as Christ does the church. For we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This is a profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife respect her husband. Ayan po. We can read this in the book of St. Paul to the Ephesians chapter 5 verses 22 to 23. Once again, in the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body, just as Christ does the church. For we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This is a profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife respect her husband. You can read this in the letter of St. Paul to the Ephesians chapter 5 verses 22 to 23. Ayan po guys. So you can read once again guys upang lalo po nating maintindihan to make it clear.
Po guys, I
Ayan
hope
po.
may natutunan po kayo sa topic na i-deliver ko po sa inyo. Nawa po'y may nakukuha po kayong
Ayan
aral
po guys.
upang atin pong mabigyan ng importansya kung paano nga po ba natin bigyan ng importansya ang sakramento ng kasal na ating pinanunumpaan sa harap ng Diyos. Ayan po. So, kung paano po tayo nag-exchange ng vows in front of God. So, ayun po ay atin po laging i-refresh sa ating mind ang love na atin pong pinapakita sa harap ng Diyos as we exchange our vows to love each other. So, ayan po, brothers and sisters, at ito pong video ko na to ay hindi lamang po para sa mga buhay may asawa, kundi para na din po sa mga single na may balak pong mag-asawa upang malalaman po ninyo kung ano po nga ba ang importansya ng kasal, na kung ikaw po ay kasal na, kung ano nga po ba yung kalagahan nito upang atin pong pangalagaan ang ating buhay bilang buhay may asawa, at atin pong we have to both exert effort to maintain the good relationship as husband and wife. Ayan po, brothers and sisters, thank you very much for listening and for watching. And please connect to my members, Fabjin Vlog, Floor Vlog, Josie Monterola Vlog, Erlyn Cares Charity Vlog, Chloe Faith 143, and Jinsai TV. Ayan po guys. At kung hindi pa po kayo subscribe sa mga channel nila, please like and subscribe, and then comments na rin po, at saka share the video upang marami pong makakita sa mga magagandang content nila. At kung hindi pa po kayo subscribe sa channel ko, please like and subscribe, and comments na rin po, and please don't forget to hit the bell button upang lagi po kayong updated sa mga next videos ko, at share na rin po guys upang marami pong makakita sa mga content ko. Ayan po. So brothers and sisters, thank you very much for watching and listening, and God bless us all.